If you've just watched Travis Pastrana's Aussie Shred, that's a sick little car. This is going to be the video for you. Yeah, g'day guys. Let's see if we can save this little Brumby hay from the scrappers. Here we go. So what do we got here? We got a little 87 model, 1987, yeah, last century. 87 model Brumby. Probably done a million miles. I don't even know if this is the original Speedo. Here's one I prepared earlier. So this is a 98 model TJ Jeep chassis. All the components that you want for a modern day chassis. So it's coilover with a solid axle on the front for serious four drivers. So I think it's had a lift kit, and I'm actually planning to get this one road registered. So just do that and you won't miss a thing. We have to rectify this and make the chassis 105mm longer just to make it look right. Let's get into that, eh? can see those two black lines there? That's where the steering column needs to go. So if you look at this hole here, that's where the column shaft will be coming out. So I need to notch out that rail, and I'll put a half piece of pipe in there. So for it to line up to the steering box, which is down here, goes right past cast iron lock manifold, needs to cut out here, and it'll fit through there. Part of this has got to go. Yeah, I've had a lot of comments recently on some of the other videos I've been doing about the Brumby. Where's an update on the Brumby? So this is the update. It will be quite detailed. There's quite a bit of stuff that I'm going into. So there's lots of talking. So if you don't like the talking part, well, you can just speed it up or not watch it or whatever. But there's lots of talking. Just a bit of a warning for you. Anyway, let's get right into the video. So here's the original motor concept that I was going with. And I'm still going to use a AMC 360, just not this one. Like, there's nothing wrong with this motor. I've just got a better one. So this one fits quite well. I've cut out the area there for the tapper covers and everything to miss. That was a heap of work, as you probably saw on the previous video. And then I got the booster and everything. I needed to cut out where the McPherson struts were sort of going, so I had to cut them out. Made a battery tray. She's all good. And I've actually just sat in a aluminium radiator. It actually came from Gary at AMC Restorations. It was out of a customer's old car that they upgraded a new radiator for. Now this one's not the one I'm going to use. It's just one that I wanted to see for fitment because it matched up with the AMC 360. So the hoses and everything will work. It actually came out of I think it came out of a Rebel or a Matador or something. Anyway. So I know that if I use this as a dummy fitter, like make all the bracketry and everything for it, it'll work. So, and it's an actual beefy 4-core, so it'll certainly do the job for this size motor and any upgrades that I put on it, which are coming. So this is the motor that I'm planning to put in it. Now it's meant to be a low kilometer Jeep motor, Jeep as well, so it's designed for torque. Not necessarily for high RPMs. It's not a, we're not going to do a shred. Well, I might do a shred. Anyway, so it doesn't look exciting at the moment, and it's got like a few dents in the old tapper cover. That's just from transport. So it came down from a place in New South Wales. It looks pretty stock on the outside, and I do believe it is relatively stock. I don't think it's a modified motor as such. Now, it does have the manifolds that I'm not going to use, things like that. It does have a flex plate where I'm going to put a flywheel on there for the 6-speed manual. Now I've got a few upgrades for it. They're not big high-end sort of upgrades. Well, I guess they're not cheap. But this is what I'm thinking of. So we've got anyone who watches Grind Hard Plumbing, it's a premium. It's a premium intake. Anyway, I've matched it up with a Holly Sniper. Now this is the first series Holly Sniper. Now this came from a friend of mine who installs these for customers' cars and all sorts, and some really sick Holdens and Chevys and all sorts. Anyway, so this Sniper was tested on a car, and there was one little malfunction that it had that connected through the distributor. You can have like a full connection through the distributor. Anyways, because it's a full electronic plug and play sort of, it self-tunes and all sorts of crap like that. Anyways, people who don't know about Holley snipers. So I've got a really nice light aluminium manifold. It's a dual plane manifold, so it certainly will do everything I need it. Ugh. If you sort of have a look, see in there. So this this Holley sniper, it's been run for, I don't know, maybe an hour or two, and there was a little function that it didn't work very well when it connected to the distributor. So he said, mate, it's going to work for your application because I'm not using the full electronic Holley distributor. But anyway, so that's a massive upgrade. I haven't selected an air cleaner as yet. So if anyone's got any ideas on what kind of a air cleaner I should install. Now, keeping in mind, in the engine bay, the manifold won't really sit a lot higher than this. It will sit a bit higher. And then the carburetor on top, I'm going to have like 8 to 10 inches room under the bonnet. Now, what can you put on a motor that makes it poke out of the bonnet? It's not going to be a Mad Max themed vehicle, so it won't be a massive big supercharger at this stage. So it's not in the budget for a big supercharger, so I'm just going to have to go with a nice big air cleaner. I've thought about Hillborn sort of style. I like the nice big sort of scoopy looking. You know, you open the bonnet and you're going to see it. It's going to look really nice. And I'm sort of going with the black theme, like, because if you have a look at the Holley sniper, it's black and it looks really nice. I like the style rather than the plain old anodized, well, not anodized, the plain old alloy. Like, I mean, that's going to be a nice contrast. But anyway, besides all that, so they're the basic upgrades I'm going to do. I'm going to repaint the whole motor. It's going to look really nice. I've got another set of tapper covers to go onto it, so it'll look good. I'm going to trim this down so it looks a little bit tidier. Got a new gooseneck for the water intake. As you know, I've got the radiator. So it's going to look a whole lot better. I'm thinking about a remote oil filter relocate sort of thing happening. Like, that's the oil pump down here, and I've just got to work out how and where to do a relocate. Now, some of the other models came out with the oil filter on top, and that's the same motor that I got in Zombie at the moment. Is the one with the alternator bracket on this side and an oil filter on the top. So it's got a relocate for the oil filter, which I like, and it gives you more room down here, like, because that'll probably be in the way of the steering box, which will be a bit of a pain. So that's the motor upgrade and a few little mods that I'm going to do to make it a bit more, I don't know, performance. Yeah, it's going to help performance. It's more the reliability side of things. Like with the fuel injection, it's going to be more of a reliability to start. Like you'll just be able to jump in, turn the key, and it'll fire up straight away. Like with a carburetor, you know, pump it a couple of times, maybe give it a little bit of choke. It could start generally. If it's not tuned very well, this does all its own tuning, or you can actually alter it. It has a little tuning kit in the wiring harness and everything. So you can set it up with certain parameters. But it's more about the ability for it to be a daily driver if I want it to be. I need something that's going to be reliable and start and quick and easy and sound really cool. So this is going to be, I think, probably my future daily driver. So anyway, I needed reliability. So also the other thing that I'm planning on doing with the motor is, you probably saw in the Zombie video, I'll put the link to it, that I went full electronic ignition. It still has a distributor cap and the spark plugs and leads, and it's not separate core packs or anything like that. It's more about, there's no points anymore, so you don't have to worry about adjustment. There's no mucking around with that. So that'll just be a bonus with the fuel injection on the sniper. So it'll be a turnkey straight away. Everything's going to be fine. Never have to worry about points. Less mucking around with tuning and things like that. So it's going to be a damn good package, if that's the right word, for this vehicle. So anyway, let's look into some other options. Okay, one of the things that I I'm going to do is do a front grille headlight upgrade. So I'll show you what I mean. So this is what I've got. It's a proper twin headlight grille and supports. Like, I mean, the surrounds, light surrounds, they all come off and everything. So I picked that up, flea market, or I can't remember where I got it. But I think it looks much nicer as a grille and light option compared to the old single sort of headlight version, which, yeah, it looked alright, but why have just 2 headlights when you can have 4? Let's go 4 headlights. Yeah, so I'll do that. Now, someone told me that it looks really difficult to do, like to convert them from a single to a twin. Now, these lights are much larger in physical size than it is for than the other lights, the twin headlight version. But anyway, because these are bigger, they take up more space. But anyway, you unscrew that, and see this hole here? That's where the back of one of those lights fit. So they actually fit really nicely. I've sat them up there. I haven't taken that off yet, but the front sort of grille and radiator support frame is the same pressing from one model to the next. They very clever with that. Actually, a lot of Subaru parts are interchangeable, like from the Brumby to the wagon to the 2-door. Anyway, so I'll be able to do the adaptation somehow, and that's going to be an upcoming video. But what I'm planning to do is add some extra stuff. Okay, so to upgrade from these boring old seal beams, I think they're seal beams, anyway, whatever they are, I'm going to upgrade to, if I can get it out of the box, going to upgrade to LEDs, which I thought was quite fitting. They're going to look pretty good, eh? You think they'll be alright as a replacement? I think so. So I'm going to put them in as well. That'll be nice. So they also come with their, I don't know, whatever you call them. This little, is it a controller? I don't know, what do you call this thing? Anybody know what you call these little things? They connect to the lights. They connect to these lights, and then that end goes into where your headlight wiring harness is. So anyway, there's a converter or something that handles the LED. They got high-low beam and everything. So anyway, we'll pop them in and we'll go from there. But that's in the next video. Anyway, that's the front headlight option. Maxpeedingrods reached out to me and said, "Oh, we've got some spotlights, a new range of spotlights. Just wondering if you're interested in putting in one of your builds." So I said, "Yeah, okay, yeah, that'd be awesome. Send them over." So I'll just go and unbox it, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here's the box of goodies. These have been sent to me by Maxpeedingrods. They reached out and said, "Would you be interested in showing these on your Brumby?" And I said, hell yeah, let's check them out. We'll quickly rip them out of the box and see what they look like. I've heard a lot about these lights. I think this is a new range that they're sending me, so we'll see what it's like, eh? Let's get into them. Cutting the seal. Woohoo! Oh wow, fancy. Oh, heavy. Yes, baby. Oh wow. Cattle dog. Nice. Okay, in the box we got a little, well, it says a product manual, but it's basically the wiring diagram and what you should and shouldn't do and how to drive them. Driving lights, yeah. And gives you all the specs and everything, and spacing and how you're meant to sort of install them, which I'll get to in the installation video. So anyway, which the good part is, it comes with the whole harness. So I'll take that out of the box and check it out. And we got covers and base plates and bolts. Man, they're pretty inclusive. Anyway, my first thoughts as soon as I pick it up, oh man, it's heavy. That is one heavy spotlight, and they are beefy as. Like, that's a massive big aluminium heatsink, and this is steel frame. It's not no chintzy sort of crud. And man, look at the size of them. They're meant to be 7 inch in diameter, and I've got 4 of them. I think I'm going to need a bigger Brumby. Hang on, they don't make one. Anyway, we will I'll have a quick look at the instructions and sort of go from there. But this wiring harness, this is, hang on, let me get this out of the pack. There we go. Oh, it even comes with a switch and everything. What? RGB. I think that's something to do with some fancy stuff. No, it's not. Oh, does it come with a relay? I'll get into the directions and stuff later. But oh man, it comes with switches. And I've got 4 of them. That's the actual lights, and I think they're gonna be awesome. That is one beefy light. Okay, one of the standout features for these particular lights, I don't know if other brands have them or not, but these guys certainly have stepped up, and they've got, I can't really show you now because I haven't got them hooked up. Anyway, when I get them all hooked up on the installation, which is going to be in the next video for this series, I'm planning to... Okay, one of the standout features that these guys have, it's called RGB option. Now, it's on one of the switches here, RGB. So you turn the light on and then you got RBG. Okay, I don't understand what RGB stands for, but it has different modes. So it has a few different modes in these, with these lights. It's got what's white, and then it's got an amber sort of thing happening here, and then different sort of modes. So they can be a driving light, they can be just a spotlight, or everything. Anyway, they got lots of different functionalities, which I think has got to be one of the best features I've sort of seen in any of the spotlights I've ever seen in my life. They also got covers for them. So the little covers, they come with them, and they just clip over the top. No big deal to install them. Like, I mean, when you go and buy like KC lights or any other brand, spotlights, Navara, or anything else that we have here in Australia, they just got a big plastic clip that goes right over the top. But these have little tiny ones, and they just clip in where they're meant to be. What if there should be somewhere they should put them? So here it is with the little covers on it. I don't know what these lines are meant to sort of represent, but anyway, they just clip in there, but you got to use a screwdriver to try and get them out, which is a bit of a pain, I think. They do come out though. But are people ever gonna actually put them back on? Like, it's not a... It's not super easy to put those covers on. Maybe they need to rethink sort of these covers. Like, I mean, the concept is great to actually have a cover, but I think a one piece that just clips over the top would be much more usable, I think. But the good thing is you could put these in a side pocket or somewhere in your car. Like, it's easy to store these than it is one big, like, round sort of cover that goes over the top. So that they're thinking ahead, by making them smaller and easy to package in your car. But yeah, I don't know, they're not super easy to get off. I guess they're meant to be rattle proof. They're not gonna, so they've thought about a few things with the spotlight covers, but I don't know, I'll probably never put them back on once I take them off. That's got to be something like out of the 80s. Really cool, man. So yeah, they are made in China, but shit, mate, they're beefy. Like, that is, like, I'm struggling to hold that up. I'm gonna have to lift some weights, I think, to before I install these. After boxing them, like, just a straight up review. They bloody look sick. They are beefy as. They are like the best looking. I'm gonna put it down, it's too heavy. Anyway, they are some bloody nice spotlights. Anyway, they didn't tell me to say all that. If you want a set of these lights, now these are the 7-inch ones. You can get 5-inch, and they can also get little square sort of marker lights. Anyway, they got a bunch of other lights. I'll leave a link down in the description for their website. You'll be able to go straight to them. And if you want, because you know, I'm looking after you guys, I got a 10% code for you. So if you go to buy any of these or any of the other spotlights that they have on their website, if you go to the link in the description for these lights and use my code, you will be able to get 10% off. A whole 10%, like, that's $10 every 100. There's a couple $100. And anyway, you'll be able to buy a carton with the money you saved. I'll show you where I'm thinking of putting these lights on. So the thought process with, like I've talked about the double light grill. So I'm thinking about how I'm going to do the spotlights, the Maxpeedingrods spotlights. Anyway, so I'm thinking, I don't have a tube bender, but I'm planning on putting a tube sort of frame here, not a roll bar, a light bracket. So I'm going to do a tube frame, basic sort of tube frame, nothing super exciting for the frame, but other than having all of the 4 spotlights sit across the top there, I think it'll look really good, is have it so they, like in normal operation when they're being used at night, they'll be up there like that, but then I'm going to have them so they pivot down. I've got a linear actuator somewhere. So I've got a linear actuator, and I'm going to have it so it pivots down and hides away. So it'll be tucked away when the lights are not in function, because they'll catch bugs and all sorts, and you don't want to go under somewhere low and knock them off or anything. So if I have it so it pivots out of the way, I think that's going to be really cool. So that's the plan for these. These trims will all go, because I don't have a full set of chrome trims. They're hard to get. You can get them, but what's the point of doing a custom car and just having all standard parts on it? What's with that? Anyway, so that's what I'm planning to do with those 7-inch round spotlights. They're going to look really nice. So let's look into something else, eh? As you saw in the previous part of the video, where I showed you how everything was sort of, how I did it all, put the body on here and shortened this and did that. And as you've seen on that, it had a windscreen in it. So I took the windscreen out, mainly because I was a bit concerned about this up here. Like, you can't see much, and it's not really a concern now that the windscreen is out. It was just showing a little bit of rust, and I thought, what's it going to be like underneath? I didn't really want to paint it, go to all the trouble of painting the whole vehicle if there's going to be rust under the windscreen. And there's a couple little spots just here, which I don't think will be a real issue. I'll just wire wheel them out so they come back to bare metal around it, and shiny bare metal. It's got to be shiny. Anyway, so that's why I took the windscreen out prematurely, because when I do get to do the rust repairs, and there's going to be a few, there's a few spots underneath the back which are pretty nasty. So I'm going to do those. I'll show you what they're like. There's a few little spots in the bonnet, just here. That's sort of a bit of a blister. There's a couple of other spots on the bonnet, but they'll come out, a little bit of filler and things like that. The rest of the body, it's not too bad. It's got a little bit down here, which is going to be, well, I'll go into that a little bit later in the video. But body-wise, it's not too bad. There's a bit of a hollow in here, which is it's probably just going to be a suction cup to pull that out, I'm hoping. If not, you know, I'll work out how I'm going to do it. I'll probably have to do a bit of shrink work to It's a couple little dents, nothing major though. Now the biggest work is going to be the tailgate. So this is the crapped out back end looking thing. The tailgate's like had more hits than Elvis. It's going to need replacing, and now here's the spare tailgate that I've got for it. Yes, it's blue, but that doesn't matter. It's going to be just fine. I've got rear tail lights for it, but the surrounding needs a little bit of work. The tailgate does open and close, only just barely. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do here with the back part. Like, they're plastic parts of the bumper, and there's meant to be little covers here, and so this whole back sort of section is going to get a bit of an update, let's just say. Anyway, there's a bit more rust hiding inside, which is good that these covers were off. So I found them, and underneath there's a little bit crusty. So when I lift the body off the chassis to try and get all that sorted, I'll get right into that. 1800. Yeah, they got no idea. So inside the tray is a bit sort of, yeah, it was a work ute. Like, all this is all sort of caved in. I'm actually thinking about, for a spare wheel, I'm not sure whether to put like in the back of the tray here, because there's a fair bit of height between the chassis rail and the actual body. So I'm thinking I could put a nice big spare wheel in there, like make a flip up lid and make it all sick looking. So I might look into that to hide the spare wheel. I was thinking about, doing removing the tailgate altogether, and then putting, sort of like like a rope or a bar sort of across the back, and have the spare wheel sit inside on a slant, like those trophy truck looking type things. Well, I don't know whether I'm going to do that or not. I'd actually like to be able to use the actual tray back as a ute. Like, it's a Brumby ute. You got to use it as a ute. And I might want to go away camping, or I'll be able to tow my caravan or something with it. Yeah, I'm thinking of putting the spare wheel under the tray, which is good and bad. Good that it'll be out of the way. Bad that if it's fully loaded and I've got a flat tire, I'm going to take it out and get the spare wheel out. Anyway, I'll work out that when I get to it. Another thought is to put it in the front there. Like, you can recess into the thing and put the spare wheel in there, but then you sort of lose a bit of, create yourself a bit of a blind spot. I don't really want to do that. So, like when you're driving, I mean. So we don't want to lose the blind spot. We want as much visual ability as we can. Anyway, because I'll probably end up putting like a reversing camera and a few other little features. I'm looking at, not remote start, but a fob, so I can actually open the doors and everything, because the original Brumby never had any of those kind of features. So I'm looking at that. Now, something else with the body sort of side of things is the fuel filler. I know it might sound a bit sort of, doesn't sound like a lot of work, but it's going to be, unfortunately, because at the moment the fuel filler is on the other side. You can sort of see there's the hose there, comes through, and but because the TJ Jeep chassis has the fuel tank in the chassis rail there, and the filler comes from this side. So either do I just do a 180, do a quick 180 and then run a hose across to the other side. I thought about doing that, but I think this is going to be something exceptionally different. So I'm going to put one here. So stay tuned for that part of the series. It's going to put one there. I've cut out a piece out of another vehicle, not a Brumby. So a bit later model vehicle, so I'm planning to blend that in, marry it so it looks like it was always there, and I'll have a little flip out lid, because the original one, they're really hard to get. You can't get the covers for them. They seem to rust away or get dented, or people do, I don't know. Anyway, so they're harder to get. So this one, it's a later model. It's not even a Subaru. Anyway, doesn't matter. Shh, don't tell Subaru. So I'm going to put the flip out lid on this side for the fuel filler. Something different. Painting, well, I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. Yeah, so I've got a few wheel and tyre options I've been thinking about. Like, I've got all this time to, because I'm sitting around doing nothing instead of building this thing. Anyway, I've got a few options I've been thinking about. Now, does anyone like those kind of wheels? Like they're sort of like similar to the old hot wires. You know, in Australia we used to call them hot wires on old Holdens and stuff like that. Now they come out on a limited Jeep, an XJ Limited, I'm pretty sure. Same stud pattern as a TJ Jeep, so that's because I got the TJ Jeep chassis. Anyway, so I've got another option of wheels, and it does come off a Jeep as well. I'm pretty sure it comes off a Laredo. So these are the other wheels that I've got an option for. I think they'll look nice. They've got a nice little dish on them. Nothing sort of super crazy. Now these are a stock, I think it's about a 29 inch. Let me roll over here. So they're very similar height to the current ones that are on there. Now I've sort of got a lot of clearance in the wheel guard there. Like I'm still going to trim off that bottom of that, which I'm going to do. It's going to look pretty good, don't worry. And same with that one, I'm going to trim that bit off. So it needs, because it's got so much room, I think I need to up the size a bit. So the plan, because these are a 15-inch rim, all alloy, I'm not really planning on going crazy full driving, so I'm not worried about, you know, bead locks or anything like that at this stage. That may happen in the future if that supercharger sort of thing happens, if ever. So, but what I'm planning on doing is probably going for a tyre like this. Now this is a 31-inch, I think, tyre. And let's just put it up against it. And I think that's sort of where I want to be. I'm just not sure yet, because if you have a look at the height difference, we've got a little bit more room. Like that's a boring old stocky road tyre. And oh, I've got a visitor. Hey Scout, what are you doing, buddy? Hey, you love coming to visit me, don't you? Neighbour's dog. He's a good puppy. So back to the wheels. So that's a standard road tyre. I think this is sort of like their version of an all-terrain, which isn't much of an all-terrain. And this is a full-on mud tyre. And yes, I know, Scout. That's right. It's hot. So that's a 31. I think there's about a 29, 28. I don't know, somewhere there. And that's crap. So, but I've got one more option. Like I was going to fit the tyre up to the rim and make it sort of look alright, but Scout keeps pointing at this one, which is bigger again. Now this is a full mud terrain tyre. Just let me get it sort of up there. Those that have been following my channel have seen Zombie, and it's got 35-inch tyres on it, and it looks pretty wild, but I'll never ever be able to get that thing registered with 35s on it, mainly because how much it sticks out of the side of the wheel guard. Anyway, that's another story. Well, not legally registered. Yeah, that's a good thought. Anyway, so I've got this other option of this other tyre. So this is a 33 full mud terrain tyre. So I've got a few options. I like the wheels, the Laredo wheels, and I do like the 31s, but I'm thinking the 33s are going to be, sort of sit it like that. It kind of fits. I've just got to finish chopping the bottom of that guard and take a little bit out of the front. The back won't be so hard. There's tons of room there to do that. So, you know, let me know what you think. Should I go for the 33s, like set the whole vehicle up on 33s? So let me know. I'm kind of thinking, do I set the whole vehicle up with a 33-inch tyre on those rims, because the offset's not horrible or anything. It's actually pretty good. It's better than those other ones. So it sort of looks like it's got a bit of a dish. Now, I will try and chase down a possible sponsor for new wheels. I don't need bead locks, but bead locks would be nice for full off-road application. So I'll see where that goes. And but I'm thinking about going for the for the 33s, I think they sort of look like they're right for it. So they'll sort of fill the guard a little bit better, although I'm still going to have a massive gap in between it all, but I think it's going to be a bit better. So that's my thoughts on the tyres. Anyone else got any ideas? I've just got to be mindful of how much it sticks out the guard, because I've got to put, even if it's that cheapy flaring stuff, I just got to put something there. As nice as it would be to make a full wide body kit and sort of put that on there, I don't know if I want to go to that much trouble, really. I just want it to be drivable and registerable and not get pulled over every 10 minutes because I'm fanging it down the motorway. Anyway, let's look into something else. So with the paint wise, there's not a crazy amount of dents or anything, which I'm going to try and tidy up the best I can, best of my ability. I've done a little bit of body work before, but not a great amount. I've done heaps of metal work, heaps of rust repairs, but not a final body work kind of guy, So what I'm planning to do is get it as best as I possibly can. And I'm going to copy old mate Colt from, at the time he was with Bleep and Jeep. Now he's got his own channel, Colt Builds It. But he did I think it was an XJ Jeep, and he Raptor-lined it. I think he even did it with a roller, which it turned out alright. It was nice lime green, and it's really durable. A friend of mine had it done on, I don't think he did it. He had it done on a patrol, I think it was. Anyway, he had it, and he goes through the bush and everything, and it doesn't seem to scratch too much. So my thoughts are, if this can go through a little bit of minor forward driving, not crazy sort of rock bouncing or anything like that. No, we're not going to do that. So anything that goes through the bush, we can have no trouble or worry about the paint getting scratched. So if I use a Raptor liner and put some sort of a colour to it, we'll be right. So I'm a bit partial to red myself, but if anyone's got any wild ideas on what they think I should, what colour, because you can tint them. You can tint the Raptor liner itself. The underside I'm going to do in like a bitumen sort of a spray, so it's going to be really durable. But the Raptor liner is going to be the outside. Door jambs is just going to be colour. But the outside, it's going to be Raptor liner is the thought process. And if you guys got any ideas on what colour I should tint it, so leave a comment if you could, that'd be awesome. But that's my thoughts on the paint. I'm going to do all the metalwork and everything myself, as you know I can do. So we're just going to be doing that. I'd rather have something durable than pretty, if you know what I mean. I like the textured finish. I do like a really nice shiny paint job, but my bodywork skills aren't up to a really nice shiny paint job. So we're just going to go with that. So yeah, let us know what colour you think. What'll match those wheels. They got grey inserts at the moment. I could change that if I really wanted to. Or something that goes with grey. Just let me know. See what happens. Anyway, let's get on to something else. Yeah, so there we go. There's the Brumby update for this year. I am planning on doing a full video in the new year. So I'll put all that together, which will include the Maxpeedingrods lights on the light bar and everything. The light bracket bar over the back. So if you guys haven't already, consider subscribing, and don't forget to leave a comment about the colour, the tyres. There's a couple other things, because I need some ideas on and inspiration on where to go to next with some of those. But if you want to buy some of those Maxpeedingrods lights, there's a link in the description, like I said before, and a 10% discount code, Doin stuff. So anyway, you guys have a great Christmas if I don't see you between now and then, and God bless.